Nyx just dropped with 4.4 in the PTU for all of Wave 1, which will likely be open to more waves soon. I jumped in and Levski is back, beautiful, but struggling. On my rig, I was seeing about 15 to 20 FPS inside the city. About a gigameter out in space, frames snapped back to about 120 to 180, but there was a noticeable desync with 400 players pounding the system. On the flip side, the Glaciem Ring is stunning. Brilliant blues and unique rock shapes, and this is before global illumination even arrives. With IAE around the corner and a fresh Perseus tease, can performance settle before this goes live? IAE 2955 runs from November 20th to December 3rd at Orison with a full free fly. The expo hall switches manufacturers each day, and rental kiosks let you try a wide range of ships without spending a UEC. Expect event-exclusive paints, in-game items, daily showcases, and fresh teases throughout the show. If you want to check out Star Citizen, IAE is the perfect time. You can use my referral code on screen or click here to receive an additional 50,000 AUEC to get started. Again, a quick reminder, this is a Wave 1 PTU, so not everybody has access yet, and things will change as more patches roll in. Not all of 4.4's content and features are in the PTU yet. The main focus right now is Nyx and Levski. Now my rig is an AMD 9800 X3D, 64 gigs of DDR5 6400, RTX 5080 at 1440p, with DLSS set to quality and most settings on high. Inside Levski, I was seeing roughly 15 to 20 FPS. About a gigameter from the asteroid, my frames jumped back to 120 to 180, which is pretty normal for me in space. But there was clear desync with hundreds of players flooding Nyx at once, and the AI was teleporting all over the place. The task manager also showed Star Citizen hovering around 32 gigabytes of system memory during testing, so the build is really heavy right now. Performance aside, Levski is absolutely worth a visit. The layout feels considered more than it was in 2021, and it feels lived in. It has a Frontier family vibe rather than Pyro's grim and rough outlaw tone. There's an underlying sense of hope based on the little touches that sell it. In the medical wing, there are handwritten notes on the wall, such as "Get well soon" and similar messages. You can feel that people chose to make a life here, free from UEE oversight, and the art direction supports that story at every turn. Navigation is readable, shops and corridors flow logically, and sight lanes in the main concourse make it easy to orient yourself. The system backdrop helps a lot. The Glaciem Ring is gorgeous. You get brilliant blues, unusual asteroid shapes, and lighting that sets the entire tone, and this is before global illumination lands. Fly a slow arc across the belt, and the parallax alone is stunning. Now, I didn't head out to the QV services station in this session, but there's plenty to take in visually, and the mood of the system comes through immediately. My only complaint is that I wish we could see the details of the Glaciem Ring further out in deep space. But content-wise, remember that the 4.4 build does not include planets. Based on how CIG has framed upcoming work, Nyx's planets should arrive in a later update. Think 4.5 or 4.6 when Genesis and Planetech V5 begin showing up in the persistent universe. That's when we should see a bigger leap in surface visuals and lighting. For now, my verdict is simple. It's stunning, but struggling. Levski is a great return, and Nyx feels special. And I'm hopeful performance will tighten as the PTU expands to more waves and the next patch drops. Now, if you're enjoying this, hit subscribe so you don't miss out on the IAE coverage and the follow-up on Nyx. If you want to go a step further, channel membership helps me keep these deep dives coming. Members get access to exclusive Discord channels, recognition in videos, and more. Patreon is also open if you prefer that route. Your support lets me spend time testing, recording, and bringing you clear, no-nonsense breakdowns. Thanks for being here and helping keep these videos focused and useful. Now, I'm going to break down the IAE teaser and share my thoughts on what it suggests for the Perseus. This isn't a final spec sheet. Until we get hands-on or CIG publishes hard details, take this as an informed but analytical observation. Now, the first thing that stands out is the main battery. The turrets read as size 8 rather than the earlier size 7s the ship had originally. The profiles look thicker and the turret housings feel scaled to match. If that holds, the ship stays a formidable heavy gunboat that wants to keep nose authority on larger targets and punish anything that charges head on. What really caught my eye are the additional weapons mounted to the main turrets. A lot of people are calling these point defense cannons, and I really don't think that they are. Geometry and position look more like a pair of light cannons co-mounted on the same turret assembly as the primaries. My working theory is that these are size 3s tied into the same turret, giving the gunner a way to select between heavy fire or a lighter set for smaller ships. Think of the Javelin in Squadron 42 switching between gun sizes depending on the target. If that idea shows up here, a Perseus turret stops being all or nothing against large and capital ships and becomes something that you can actively contribute with while the mains wait for a clean shot. That'd make the ship more flexible than I first expected. Separate from those added weapons, there are true point defense turrets visible on the hull. In several of the frames, you can see a mount on each upper flank. That matters for missiles and torpedoes, especially when you're breaking contact or when a strike package tries to time salvos off your broadside. If these mounts are modular in game, then crews can tune for threats they face most by switching between laser or pepperball PDCs or even missile or ballistic variants if they're ever added. Up front on the upper hull, you've got the main size 8 turret. Behind the bridge, there appears to be a remote size 3 on the upper hull, and underneath the nose, there's another remote size 3, giving you a strong forward arc. Mid-belly is the second main size 8 turret. If that layout holds, you get heavy nose authority, a matching main battery on the underside, and 2 useful remote arcs to keep smaller targets at bay while the big guns wait for clean shots. Now, rear coverage is unclear beyond the upper hull flank mounts. I don't see a definitive point defense mount near the engines, so aft protection is still unconfirmed. On the bridge, the pilot seat looks slightly raised with a clean view over the forward strut. That small detail matters. Better sightlines help formation flying and lower the chance you're blocking turret arcs without realizing it. In a fight, the pilot should be able to hold the target where the big guns can work while the remote and point defense stations do their jobs. So here's how I'd crew it, based on what we can see. 1 pilot up front, likely with torpedo control, 2 remote turret stations on the bridge deck for the 2 size 3 mounts to the left and the right behind the pilot, and 2 manned turret gunners seated at the actual size 8 turrets. Now, if you've got extra people, you can add an engineer or 2 to manage power, cooling, and damage control systems as those systems mature. Short crewed, you can still fight with the pilot, both mains manned, and 1 remote. Bottom line, if the smaller weapons on the big turrets are truly selectable size 3s and not point defense, that makes the Perseus more flexible without changing its primary role as a heavy hitter. We'll need final confirmation, but based on the footage, it looks promising. Now, there are 3 items from this week that are worth watching. Stanton now appears alongside Nyx and Pyro for exterior freight elevators. In practice, this should let larger ships dock directly to a station and offload to an external freight platform, instead of improvising with ramps. Think Polaris, Hull C, Reclaimer, Perseus, and similar hulls being able to move cargo straight onto a exterior freight elevator. The open question is control and ownership. If anyone can walk up, hit the panel, lower the platform, and move boxes, you've just created an easy way to steal cargo after the original crew did the work. CIG is going to need a permission model here. In lawful space like Stanton, restrict panel access to the ship's owner and party by default. In places like Pyro or Nyx, consider looser rules that only flip control after the owner is incapacitated or a crime condition is met. Until CIG spells it out, treat this as promising infrastructure that still needs clear safeguards. Wikelo Rewards gained a visual update that calls out 2 highlights for 4.4. The RSI Meteor and the Guardian MX, both with upgraded components and a unique base livery. The Guardian MX showing attritions in the preview art is a nice bonus for PvE pilots who would have likely swapped to them anyway. As always with the release view, treat this as subject to change until it lands in a build. Third, MaxOx Neutron Cannons for sizes 1 to 3 received an art refactor. The models have clearer silhouettes and better size differentiation, which is neat, I guess? I don't know, I'm hoping that the refresh ships with small audio and effect tweaks as well, since there have been a few updates in the past for other weapons. For now, file it under an artistic refresh that brings small updates to some of the older weapons. Now, quick disclaimer, the next minute is speculation based on leaks and teaser chatter. Treat all of this as a rumor until it is in the build. The big one floating around is the Hermes, a cargo-leaning variant of the Apollo that would have more of a logistics focus. There's also talk of an L-22 Alpha Wolf, another wolf branch that would keep the light fighter theme going. The Drake Clipper keeps showing up as the infamous Drake silhouette, which points to a ship that we still know very little about. The RSI Salvation gets mentioned as a potential new salvage platform, which would fit with the recent attention on salvage loops. For the finale haul though, Aegis could bring a surprise, and if anything lands, it's most likely a new, straight-to-flyable ship, or nothing at all. I don't really expect the Javelin here. That feels more like an Invictus or post-Squadron 42 release. The Vulcan seems early without next year's repair and refuel work, and the Nautilus lacks mine-laying gameplay today. So it could be a big reveal or a quiet finish. We'll see. And that's it. I think 4.4 will be a welcome patch, with Nyx leading the way and a lot of fresh content to dig into once performance tightens. But what are you looking forward to in Nyx? Vandal fights, new mission packs, new resources to find when mining, or just exploring the system? If you get into the PTU and visit Levski, share your FPS and your specs in the comments so that we can track how performance changes from patch to patch. I'll update the Perseus breakdown as soon as we have hard details or hands-on. And while you're here, check out my engineering breakdown video on how ship systems and repairs will work. I'll be posting an updated breakdown soon that covers the major changes the tech preview introduced, so watch that next and be ready for the new version. As always, thanks for watching. Fly safe, pilots, and I'll see you in the verse. Have a go.